Well, hi everyone, this is Alex, and welcome back to Alex Electronics. I know it's been quite a while since my last video, and as always, I'm sorry for that. It's just, I get caught up doing other things and, just don't have the time to make videos, but I figured I'd try something a little bit different today. We've got a pinball machine here, and I figured instead of, doing a scripted video style like I often do, let's instead try something completely off the cuff, just look at it and talk about it and learn as we go. So that's what we'll be doing here today. I have not really looked at this thing much at all, other than just bringing it into the house and setting it up right here. So we'll kind of just be learning about this together, honestly. So yeah, the story behind this is basically that about a year ago or whenever it came out, I was watching a video on Technology Connections. I don't know if anybody's familiar with his YouTube channel, but it's a channel, he talks about a bunch of different cool tech topics and how a bunch of things work. And one of his videos was about how electromechanical pinball machines from like the 1950s to 1970s work. And ever since, I've just been really fascinated with them, just because of how they implement such complicated functions without using any digital logic. It's all done with relays and motors and solenoids. It's really interesting. And so I've wanted a pinball machine, an electromechanical one, ever since. And I finally got one from a guy off Facebook Marketplace. And yeah, here it is in my house now, and it's in really good shape on the whole. It's got some issues with the paint in certain places, but it's really not that bad. Especially, I didn't pay a whole lot of money for it either. I got a pretty good deal, so I'm pretty happy with it. There's a little bit of issues on the back glass as well, but from what I hear, this is pretty normal. The paint kind of just flakes off, so yeah, that's fine. And then the playfield, you can see there's a little bit of damage here as well, but we can fix all that. But yeah, let's start, taking it apart and looking into the electronic side of things and just investigating this thing. I'm gonna kind of make a series here where we go through and start fixing it, because it does not work, as you might be able to tell by the score reels up here. You can see they're all just kind of on random, like they're not even on a number, they're kind of just in between numbers. So obviously it's not working properly, because those would be reset or on proper numbers if it were. So in future videos, we're going to be powering it up and trying to fix it. But here we're just going to be doing an overview and, trying to get to know it and see what it's like inside. So let's start by just moving behind it here and looking inside the back box, or the head, or whatever you call this thing. This is what it looks like inside. We got tons of electromechanical goodness here. Yeah, okay, so it looks like we've got, here are score reels, 4 of them per player, and then 16 in total, because we have, this is a 4-player game, which is pretty cool. And it looks like the way these work is, yeah, so this looks like this is a solenoid here. And let me see if I can get my finger in here and actuate the solenoid. Well, this one might be a little easier, it's a little more accessible. So I think if I pull on the solenoid, it should cause the counter to tick forward. Oh, and it kind of, well, it got stuck, but it's trying, but it's not advancing by an entire digit each time. But it's trying. So I think we're gonna need to take probably all of them, take all of these out and lubricate them, free them up, so that those score reels are actually rotating by a full digit each time. But at least they're all here, and at least they all look like they're in pretty good condition. And then it looks like we got some switches on each one here that open and close depending on what position the score reel is in, so that different things can happen depending on what the current score is, which is pretty cool. Then we got a bunch of relays over here. Not 100% sure on what they do, because I haven't looked at the schematics yet, so that's another thing we're gonna have to do. But got some relays over here with a bunch of switches on them, as you would expect on a relay. Not sure I can actuate that. I can't really see it super well, but the relays are probably fine. And then we got a bunch of, I've been watching some pinball videos, so I think I got the terminology right here. I think these are called Jones connectors. These are what connect the everything down in the belly of the machine up to the back box here. These are Jones connectors, and they just plug in like that in order to connect everything together. And we've got like I think 4, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that connect the guts of the machine up to the back box. And then here, I believe, it's been a while since I've seen the technology connections video. I'll have to watch it again. But I believe this is called the player unit here, I believe. And yeah, we've got a lot of switches in here, a whole lot of switches. Like, oh God, that's probably like 30 or 40 switches. That's a lot. And then we've got this, this plate here with this rotating part on it. And the rotating part, yeah, so it's got a couple contacts on it here. And those contacts rub up against all these little divots on the fixed plate. And you can see the divots are in certain patterns here. So as this rotates through certain states, it makes certain connections, makes and breaks certain connections between the divots on here and the little pins on here. So it's kind of like a state machine, a mechanical state machine, essentially. And that there should be like a solenoid back here that actuates. Yeah, this looks like, yeah, okay, that moves. Let's see if it moves. Hey, it moves. Okay, so that seems to be working pretty well, actually. Oh, and look, the switches move too. That's pretty neat. That is pretty darn neat. And oh, this is the solenoid itself right there. That's the solenoid, and that's the little piston in the solenoid. And then this, what is this? Oh, okay, that's like the credit counter, I think, that determines how many credits you have in the machine. And let's see if we can get it to count. We got 2 solenoids, so I'm guessing one like resets it and the other makes it count. I'm just gonna take a guess. Is this the count? Nope, I'm guessing that's the reset, or it's just broken. Let's try this one. Does this one make it count? Oh, it does. We can't see it because we're not on the front of the machine, but yeah, it looks like it's counting up. And then it's a little sticky, but we can lubricate it. And then if we push this, it should reset. Let's see. Hey, it does. That's really awesome. And I'm guessing these switches here, for the credit unit, I don't see any reason, because obviously the rest of the machine needs to be told when there's a credit in the machine and when there's not a credit in the machine. But 1 credit shouldn't be any different from 15. So I bet these switches they close or open or whatever when we go from 0 credits to 1 credit, and then they just stay in the same state after that. Let's see if that's true, or I'm just making stuff up over here. Let's see. I don't know if we can even see them well enough, but let's move this. Yep, okay, I don't know if you could even see that, but this switch changed state when I went from 0 to 1. And then it looks like, yes, it looks like they're just staying in the same state after that. So I believe I'm correct about that. And let's see if we go to reset it, let's see if you can see the switch move again. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but trust me, it's moving. So we got some work to do back here. I've heard these Jones connectors also like oxidize a lot, so we'll need to clean those. We'll need to like put some sandpaper on these to shine them up and put some lubricant on a whole lot of this stuff. Lubricate pretty much all the moving parts back here. So there's some work to be done here. I also need to vacuum it all out because you can see it's a little dusty in here. But I think that's about it for the back box up here. Oh, and we can adjust how stuff is scored based on, I think this little Jones connector here, we can move these guys around to determine something about scoring. And if you move this, I think this causes like the whole back box thing to come off, but we don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to do that. But yeah, I think that's it for the back box. So now let's move back to the front again, I guess. Okay, so we're back to the front now, and I was just looking for the power switch just to see where on earth it is. I finally found it. It's under here. I expected it to be on the side, like near the back somewhere, but it's actually under here. It's this little button here. I'm assuming that's the power switch. Like, I don't think it would be anything else, but yeah, there's a little tiny button in that little hole under the bottom right of the machine, the front right of the machine at the bottom. So that's kind of neat. And we're gonna take the glass off, but first, let's just open the coin door and look in there. Well, if it opens, there we go, okay. So yeah, what do we got in here? So we got the coin mechanism. I honestly don't really know how this works, so we'll have to look into this. I'll have to learn about this. We got a couple switches here. I'm guessing this is some kind of like tamper switch or something, maybe. I'm honestly not sure. but like this doesn't seem like it contacts anything. So I'm guessing that's like some kind of tamper switch, or like maybe a bump switch. Like if you bang it too hard, it'll actually, I don't know. And then this, yeah, this is for the start button. And then we got our 2 coin units here. Oh, this one's a little broken. I think we're missing, oh yeah, we're missing a screw. This plate needs to be screwed in right here. This one's got the screw, but this one's missing the screw. That's easy though, it's just a screw. Your coin comes down the chute, I think, and then it falls somewhere deep into the mechanism. Have to figure that out later. Don't want to bore you guys too much with that. And then I believe this button here, this is like the, oh, whoops, I put a coin in, but realized I don't want to play button. So if we push that, I think, okay, that moves this. Feels pretty stuck. Oh, you might have to have a coin inserted before that will do anything. That might be it. But it looks like it pushes that thing like down or something, and then the coin comes back out this little hole at the bottom. But otherwise, your coin, I think it falls out through, yeah, maybe through here or something, and it falls into this coin box right here, and that's where all the coins are kept once you put them into the machine. And but before we actually start looking inside of here, let's take a look at this folder that I just dropped on the floor. Because when I went to pick up the machine, the gentleman who I picked it up from, he had all these laid out on top of the machine. And I was very impressed by what I saw in here. I was shocked that these were still with the machine after how many years it's just been sitting around. So yeah, let's take some stuff out of here and take a look. So we've got quite a variety of things in here. So first, we just got a lot of these little cards that you can put like right in here to tell the player how the machine is set up in terms of scoring, because you can configure like the desired scores to get a replay, to win a replay using some jumpers, basically those Jones plugs inside the machine. And so these are all the little cards that determine that. And then this is a replacement for the just standard instructions card, I think. And then we've got, I guess this is just, yeah, this is just all of the part numbers, I think, for all the scorecards there. And then where the adjustment Jones plug is that you have to use to adjust the particular parameters, you know, like how many balls you want. This has something to do with coins, the first and second shoot thing, but I'm not sure what exactly. And then, yeah, that's kind of cool. And then, caution, the play board on this machine has an improved finish with excellent wearing properties. Do not under any circumstances clean the board with water soap solutions, or harsh abrasives. Okay, well, that's good to know. Avoid such things as steel wool, kitchen cleansers, or abrasive hand soap. Water will weaken the adhering properties, or excuse me, the adhering of the paint to the board, and abrasive shorten the board life by many thousand plays. Wow. A wax-based cleaner with negligible abrasive quantities used lightly but frequently will extend the board life to its full capabilities. Okay, well, I was going to put wax on it, so that's good to know that we shouldn't use water at all. It's very good to know. We got another important notice. This looks like it's just, if it breaks during transportation, it's not our fault. And then we've got an instruction and service. Oh, okay, that's an ad for their service manual. Only $4 for the service manual. That's nice. I wish I had the service manual. I don't think I have that. Got the instruction manual, but not the service one. There is no substitute for quality. And then we got a little lettered thing here. You put your stamp up there and you can mail that back to Gottlieb. I don't believe they still exist though, so don't think this would do you much good anymore. Next up, this is a schematic for the entire machine, actually. This is super cool. I was not expecting it to come with this. I thought I was going to have to buy a copy of the schematics off the internet. But yeah, this is the full original 1970s schematic for the entire machine. And I'm going to have to study this pretty closely because I'm not used to reading schematics for like relay-based devices like this. So it's kind of foreign to me compared to the types of schematics that I am accustomed to reading. Like, you know, we got the relay coil here, and we've got our switches here. Like this, I believe, means normally open, and this with the little line through it means normally closed. So I'm gonna need to kind of learn how to read this type of schematic. It's very, very different. But we got the whole thing here. We've actually got 2 copies of it for some reason. We've got this main copy. Well, I think I folded it up the wrong way. Whoops. And I'll deal with that off camera. Don't want to waste the time. And then we got a second copy here, which is a little more damaged, but no point in showing that because it's identical. And then we have another schematic here, which is for supplement coin chute circuits. So I guess this is just for the coin chute. I'm not 100% sure. This one's a little bit eaten up in some places, but I guess this is just for the coin circuitry. But I'm not 100% clear on where that is, because I mean, clearly there's not much going on the coin chute itself. So I'm assuming this is on the big board of electronics down in there somewhere, but I don't know where exactly because I haven't even looked at that yet. And then of course we have the owner's manual itself. It's got like a big list of all the part numbers for all the parts in here, and then some instructions on like how to configure everything. I don't know that I can really show this in too much detail because I know this is like still protected by copyright and they might get mad at me. But yeah, we got all those materials that are included with the game. But with that out of the way, let's take the machine apart so we can look inside. And I'll put all that stuff back in off camera, but at least I can show the start of taking the top off here. So I believe there should be, yes, we got a lever right here. And if we pull down on this, yeah, okay, we pull down on this, and all right, so yeah, that should release this. Yeah, okay, so now this lockdown bar has come off, and now we should, emphasis on should, because this is my first pinball machine, never done this before, we should just be able to slide the glass like down and out, and yep, looks like we can do that. Obviously, this is a two-handed job, so I'm going to stop recording and come back once the glass is out, because I do not want to shatter this. I do not think it's tempered glass, so don't want to risk that. But yeah, I'll be back momentarily. Okay, I'm back, and I've got the glass off of the playfield. And wow, it's like so much more vibrant without the glass. That glass is just like really, 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 really like foggy. Like look at the glass. It's not clear. It needs to be cleaned. So the playfield looks so much better without the glass, to be honest. So yes, let's just look at the playfield for a second before we actually remove it. So yeah, we got, these cars are in pretty decent condition other than a little bit of, I don't know what happened there. A mouse got in there. Probably not. I don't know. But they look pretty good overall. Someone modified this one a little bit. That's fine. We got plenty of spares. And the playfield itself looks good. Yeah, so we got a rubber ring on this one. These are obviously going to need to be replaced. They are very dry rotted. But we got a rubber ring on this one. But the rubber ring on this one over here is already fallen off. So we will need to replace that, obviously. But I'm just going to replace them all because they're all kind of on their last legs. They're not very springy anymore. But yeah, things look pretty darn good. These plastics here seem like they're dirty. Like you can see some dirt there, but like they don't look scratched. They don't look, the paint's not missing, the paint's not chipped or missing. They look like they're in very, very good shape. They just need a good cleaning. Same for these. They're a little dirty, but a good cleaning will bring them back to their former glory, I think. These pop bumpers though, they've seen better days. That paint is kind of coming off. But I already checked on a website called the Pinball Resource, and they actually still sell these things. They still sell the entire pop bumper assemblies new. And like apparently they still have the original mold that was used to make these back in the day. So they're like identical to the originals. I believe these just pop off. Yes, they do. And so you can buy them from them for like $6 or something crazy, like super cheap, and replace everything with one that's nice and fresh. So I was thinking about repainting this, but I am not an artist. It would look like trash if I did that. So it's better to just replace this. And yeah, you can see the little light bulb in there that would illuminate the pop bumper. It's a good thing I got this off properly. I was a little worried about breaking it, but I guess it wouldn't really matter because I'm probably just going to replace that anyway. Yeah, I think it's back on there. Yeah, that's the pop bumpers. They look pretty good other than that, though. The little skirt looks to be in great condition. It's dirty, but just a little cleaning will fix that up. It's not like scratched. These rollovers here seem good. They're a little rusted, but we can sand that off probably. Yeah, the little holes here look good too. I mean, they're holes. There's not a whole lot that can really go wrong there, I guess. These little things, the ball goes in here and then gets kicked out. They look pretty good too. I think that one, yeah, they both look good in there. And then these, I'm not sure what the pinball term is. I've been watching some videos. There's this channel I found called Joe's Classic Video Games. They're actually based in Rock Hill, South Carolina, not too far from where I am in Columbia, South Carolina, which is kind of cool. But I've been watching a lot of his videos about these old pinball machines, and really good videos. Even though I've been doing that, I don't remember what these things are called here that are present on like every pinball machine ever made. But unlike most pinball machines where there's actually a solenoid here that'll kick the ball out when it runs into these do not have that. On this machine, there's a switch to detect it so you can get a score for it, but it doesn't actively kick the ball back out, which is interesting. And then we got our flippers. These seem okay. These rollover switches seem good too. And we've got, these are rollover switches as well. This one seems like it's stuck down, so the star part honestly looks like it's kind of eaten up, so we'll probably need to replace those because, yeah, they look not too great. I don't see that plastic could be repaired. I think we're just gonna need to replace that inner star part. But, oh yeah, that one got stuck down too when I pressed it. The middle one's just barely okay. Yeah, we're gonna need to replace all of them, I think. And then here we have the drop targets. Let's see if these things drop properly. Interesting, this one's a horseshoe and these are horses. You'd think they would put that in the middle for symmetry purposes, but I guess not. Let's see if these drop properly. That one does. That one does, but it doesn't go all the way down, so probably needs lubrication. And that one does, but doesn't go all the way down. So lubrication is necessary there. And then the playfield itself, it's in quite good shape overall. Like, we're not just missing absurd amounts of paint anywhere. It's just tiny little flakes in certain places. Like there, it really looks pretty good on the whole. A little bit there, a little bit around these lights here, and then a little bit up here at the very top. But the playfield looks pretty great on the whole. And then we got some, I don't know if this is rust or just like dirt, but that shouldn't be too hard to get off either. And I'm planning on ordering some paint so we can touch some stuff up. And there's a little bit of discoloration here too, but some paint should probably fix that right up. And then we got the plunger here to send the ball out. These springs, I don't know that they're in the best shape, so I'm probably gonna replace both of these springs. They're available on that Pinball Resource website for like 80 cents a piece, so might as well replace this spring and that spring to bring this thing back up to its full potential. And the little piece of rubber on the end there is not happy, as you can see, so we'll need to replace that as well. So yeah, now let's try and lift the whole playfield. I want to see if I can do this with the camera. So I believe you can just like grab it. I don't know if it's safe to grab it by this piece of metal here, but I don't see anything else to grab it by. So maybe I push from the bottom to like free it, and then I can, so I'm pushing like up from inside the coin area. Yeah, okay, that kind of freed it a little bit. Now I'm gonna pull from here. Yeah, okay, and the whole thing, sorry about the horrible view, I'm just trying to do this while still recording. Yeah, the whole thing just swings out like the hood of a car, kind of, yeah. And here we are, and there's even a little kickstand. That's so cool. There's a little kickstand you can use to prop it up. I can't do that while holding the camera though, so I'm gonna cut and come back once I do that. All right, I'm back. I have installed the kickstand. I mean, it looks really flimsy, honestly. Like, look how narrow this thing is, but it actually does a good job at holding this thing up. It's sturdy. It's really sturdy. But yeah, wow, this is really cool inside. Look at this. So many relays. Every single one of these things is a relay in here. Huge bank of them. That's where like the main logic of the machine lives, all in these relays. And so many wires, all like perfectly managed in these little bundles. It looks so good. We got a couple fuses up here. Yeah, 25 volt, 15 amp. That's probably for like the relay logic. And the lights, that's probably gonna be 6.3 volts. Both of those are probably gonna be 6.3 volts for the lights. And then this is the score motor. I do remember that from the Technology Connections video a few years back. This handles scoring on the machine. It's a motor. Yep, okay, good, it rotates. That's good. Rotates pretty freely actually, so that's nice. And the switches all those switches seem to be actuating as we spin it. I'm sure one of the switches will probably be out of adjustment a little bit because that's kind of inevitable, but it seems to be working okay. And then, I'm not sure what this is, but it's clearly some kind of like, yeah, it's another one of those like spinning disc stepping units, some kind of state machine. But let's see if we pull this plunger in. It's a little rocky seeming, like it was wobbling a little bit, but it was stepping. Well, it stopped stepping, that's, oh, maybe it's like a unidirect or bidirectional thing where it can only go like a certain amount and then you have to step it back. Let's try doing the other solenoid. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It can only step like a few steps in each direction. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I think that's actually working okay. A bunch of relays. Oh, we got the giant transformer back there. That thing's huge. Big brick. And then, okay, those Jones connectors back there, those are where the playfield plugs into the big board of logic down here. And these things, I think you can, yeah, you can change different settings about the game by moving these little jumpers around in the Jones plug. And these little diagrams here tell you what that does exactly. And then, oh, total play meter. How many total times has this machine played? Let's find out. I can't read that. What does that say? You can probably read it just fine, but I can't read it from up here. Let me get a better angle through the front door. That says 79,815. Wow, that's a lot more than I was expecting. But given that it has a third digit there, maybe that's not a lot in the grand scheme of pinball. I don't know. But that seems like a lot to me. 79,000 times. That's insane. And then we've got, yeah, okay, flipper switches here. When you press in on the flipper switch on the outside, it just actuates that little thing, which then connects through a wire harness to the play field. Yeah, and then the actual actuator for the flipper should be this thing. Yep, that sure looks like the one. That is what actually actuates the flipper. Let's finish up here though before we go to the play field. Oh, the chimes, of course. This is what makes our sound. Let's see. Those are really nice. And we should have solenoids. Yep, solenoids underneath that bang into those. And I think this here is the knocker that just makes banging noises. Oh, it seems a little sticky. I just pushed on the plunger and the solenoid. It's a little sticky, but we'll figure that out later. That's a task for once we have most of the game up and running. And this, oh, this is the tilt mechanism, isn't it? Oh, that's really clever. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Okay, so in case you guys don't see what's going on here, this is really neat. So tilting, if you're not familiar, in pinball is where you try and bang on the machine, basically, in order to get the ball to move somewhere that it wouldn't just naturally move, because you're about to lose the game or something, and so you're trying to maneuver it around by just banging on the machine. And, well, you're not supposed to do that. It's kind of cheating. So this thing detects if you try and tilt the machine. So if you bang on it, it'll cause this little thing hanging in the middle to move and hit this little retainer ring here. So now we've got a circuit formed between this rod and the retainer ring, and bam, that tells the game. I'm not sure if it cancels your entire game or just makes you lose your current ball, but regardless, that's how that works. And then, oh, I guess this is, I've heard about this one. I'm not sure why it needs both. Maybe it's because this is like more for instantaneous bangs, and this is more for like just a long-term backwards tilt. But yeah, if you just like pick up the front of the machine and tilt it back, this ball rolls up and presses on that switch, and that's another tilt detection. That's a rusty ball, but I'm sure it'll do the job just fine. That is really cool. That's really freaking cool. And then, okay, that's the power switch down there. And that's the coin box where, oh, and that's where the lock is. The lock's just sitting in the coin box. That's kind of funny, actually. And I think we've kind of covered everything without actually going into the logic, which I don't understand yet because I haven't studied any of it yet. That'll be a job for the next video. This is the playfield though. We can kind of like look on the top though and figure out what hooks to what. So like there should be a solenoid under here to kick the ball out of this hole. And sure enough, there is. It's this one hooked to this lever. So when we hit this, it should, yep, you can see that little thing coming up. And like for one of the pop bumpers, this should be the switch. So when the ball rolls up onto this, that triggers the switch that detects when the ball is on the bumper. And then this red solenoid here, this one, should fire to pop the ball, yep, off the pop bumper. So you can see when I do that, it brings that little metal piece down and that pops the ball out and sends it off at high speed. That's cool. And then we should have, yep, another solenoid for this output hole. Let's see if you can see what it's doing. Yeah, you can see that little plunger moving in there to send the ball out. And then, ooh, for the drop targets, how do they get reset? Yeah, okay, so this long plastic thing here is the drop target. And, oh, I bet this solenoid attached to the green one here attached to this bar is how they get reset. Let's see if that's true. If I push on this. Oh, yep, sure enough, that's how they get reset after they've all fallen down. And yep, you can see it's attached to that solenoid, the green one over there. That's really cool. And then, what else we got? I think that's the main stuff in terms of like the solenoids. Everything else is just switches and bulbs. Like here's one of the lights. Yeah, that's a light. A little incandescent bulb and a socket. Don't worry, I'll be replacing all these with more incandescent bulbs, not LEDs, because LEDs are pretty pathetic in a situation like this. And then these are all our switches for the playfield elements. And, oh, I believe the machine didn't come with a ball. So I didn't have to use this, but apparently it's important to remove the ball from the machine before you transport it to prevent it from just flying around in there and knocking things around and destroying stuff. And I believe this is the solenoid that pops the ball out when you start a new game and whenever you lose the ball and it needs to give you a new ball to continue the game. So I believe that's what this one does. Let's confirm. Yeah. So yeah, when you lose the game, the ball goes in there into that little hole. And yeah, this pops the ball out and it should send it like through here and out this hole so that the plunger can kick it. Let's see if we can see it through there. No, you really can't see it through there, but that's where it kicks the ball out. So yeah, I think we've kind of covered everything at this point. In the next episode, which is probably gonna be a couple days because I need to order some basic parts that I know I will absolutely need, like the rubbers and things like that. But in the next episode, we will be plugging the thing in for the first time. In case you didn't see, the power cord is hanging out the back here, right there. So we'll be plugging this thing in the next episode and seeing what happens. See if things light up, see if it's obviously not gonna fully work, but just see what happens and get into the preliminary troubleshooting of things and maybe I'm not good with cosmetically. I'm good at the electrical side of things, but in terms of like cosmetic restorations, I'm not great with that stuff. So maybe we'll start like doing the playfield a little bit, like replacing the rubbers, and maybe I'll have the new pop bumpers in by then. So we'll start replacing that stuff. Oh, I also ordered, that same company also makes new drop targets. So we should be getting brand new drop targets for it too, since the little images on the front are a little bit faded. So that should be the plan for the next episode probably. And just general cleaning, maybe we'll replace these two because I'll order those from the company. I'm sure they've got these. Then wax the playfield, put in an actual pinball because I'll be getting one of those from them too. That sort of thing. So that'll be the next video. But that'll probably, expect that maybe a week or so. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Had a lot of fun making it. I'm so freaking excited to get going on this thing. It's gonna be so much fun. But yeah, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please remember to subscribe. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, a dislike if you didn't. And feel free, if you have any experience with these things at all, any advice, constructive criticism or non-constructive criticism, whatever you want, feel free to leave a comment and let me know about that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one, and hopefully about a week.